Using lookup functions allows you to look up information from a table of data. Now, you will learn how to find and activate the function. Use the function in an approximate match. First, how to find an approximate match. What you have here is a list of student numbers and a result from a test. And what you're like is put a symbol that relates to the result. We have a symbol table here which indicate what score and generate what symbol. Click on a cell. Activate the function wizard. Select the category Lookup and Reference, and then select the function VLOOKUP and press OK. We will fill in the criteria. The first one that we will fill in is the lookup value. As you see here is a lookup value to be found on the first table that will be here. So in this case, we will look up this value. Next, the table array. It is a table of number, text, or logical values in which data is retrieved. So we will highlight this section to here. Now, we will put a $sign to make it absolute. Next is the column index number. This is column 1, 2, 3, and etc. But I want the column number 2. Next is what you want. It is an approximate match. The cause of the result could be anything or any numbers. So we will put true and press OK. You will see the symbol pull through. So we can drag it down and it will automatically reflect the relevant information.
The ability to look up information in Excel is generally performed by using one of the VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, or lookup functions. What people do not realize is the risk that they take depending on how they use those functions. In this example, what you've got here is a table with a number of reference, alphanumeric cells. For ease of comparison, I've made the information to be looked up exactly the same. So, if I want to see the answer for A2, we must bring back A2. If I want to see the answer for A21, we must bring back A21. Over here, you have a cell which specifies what number I'm looking for. So, I'm looking for the answer for A201, should be A201. Here's the VLOOKUP function. Let's just have a quick look into it. What you're saying is asking for the lookup value. So, you're saying look up the number A201. Where must I look it up in this table here? And what must it pull through and defines it, and that is the second column. However, we use vital entry by either putting in true or false here. You can tell Excel whether it must find an exact match, so it must find A201 or an approximate match. So if you put in false, you'd find an exact match. If you put in true, you'd find an approximate match. However, for whatever reason, has also said that if you omit it totally, it's going to find an approximate match. And that is where one of the problems comes in. What you have here is that it asks for A201 and yet is pulling to A10. Now the same situation happens to include a criteria true at the end. It's only sorted out when you include false, and that is because you've told Excel look for A201 but only find an exact match. So it goes down here and finds an exact match. If there was not an exact match, it will give you an error message. Now, the reason that this happens in Excel and this error can occur because the way Excel sorts alphanumeric keys is slightly different than the way a human would. My recommendation for this is that rule out of possible avoid the approximate criteria. unless you vividly know what you want and approximate. Which means that you must not omit the formula here. You must type false. And if the number does not exist, it will then point out an error to you, and you are more likely to find it.
The EU1 functions are useful functions within Excel that help you deal with dates. EU-month, which means end of month, generates the date of the last day of the required month, based on an input start date. In this segment, you will learn how to find, activate, and use these functions. However, it is very important to point out that these functions are only available when you have your analysis tool pack program. If you would like the forecast dates to make reference to the start date, but to show the date at the end of the month, you should rather make use of the EU-month feature. In order to activate it, click on the cell where you want the formula. Activate the function result. Go to the date and time section, and you find the EU-month formula. Click on it and press OK. This dialog box will appear. The first option is to give it the start date or the reference date. In this case, this cell here. Second option asks you how many months before or after the start date should this date be. And we are going to click on our cell here. And because you want it to consistently reference between the cells, we need to make it absolute referencing. When you click OK, what you'll get is the end of the next month. And we can now copy and paste this along. And you'll see that each cell represents the end of the next month. What you have now is automatically generated dates. So what you can do is come to this cell, and let's say we want to make it quarterly, we put a 3 in there. You'll see this change to the end of the month in 3 months' time. And you can even go semi-annual, or alternatively, you can go backward by putting a negative number in.